Welcome to Modern Shooter, and whether you're shooting targets or critters, doesn't matter. Accuracy is everything. And in the precision long range game, that accuracy matters tenfold. So welcome to Washington. You could call this the corporate offices of Modern Shooter. We've got a really cool opportunity. We're up here with Ken Hagen of H&H Precision, and not only did I get to watch Ken build that gun right there, we get to get behind it today and see what that bad boy can do.
You are going into the unknown. What's on the other side may know you're coming.
Welcome to Western Washington, Luke. We're out here, we're going to put these guns to the test today, and as you know, we tout our precision and our accuracy, and we're here to prove it.
Well, it looks like with the range you've got set up, this is the perfect spot to tout your quarter MOA guarantee, meaning if you buy an H&H rifle, that gun is guaranteed to shoot quarter MOA, correct?
That is correct.
All right, well, you said it, now it's time to prove it.
We will.
Let's get on it.
All right, Luke, we have a new gun here. We hit our 100-yard target here, but we don't really have our dope at range. So we're going to go ahead and start out here on this 500-yard target here on this little clear cut.
Yeah, I see it.
You see it? After that, we're going to walk up there on top of the hill up that next knoll. That's 750. And then when we get on that target, we're going to go ahead and go on all the way up to 1,200 yards.
All right, cool. Let me settle in here.
One of the things we want to think about is getting behind the gun. You're a little bit off canter here, so we want to move your hips over.
All right.
Yeah, and I want your hip bone behind the butt of the stock, so keep moving over.
Okay.
So we're trying to put the energy of the rifle into the center of your body if we can to absorb the energy for consistency. Now another thing we want to do is we want to make sure we got the proper cheek adjustment, so you should be able to just relax your head. And by doing that, you should be center of the scope without any scope shadow side to side or top or bottom.
That actually feels pretty good right there.
You're pretty centered up? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing we're going to do is we want to make sure that we have the proper bipod height. And so what you should be able to do is literally just kind of shut your eyes.
Okay.
And then open them. Are you still on target?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're establishing our natural point of aim. So that tells me you got the right bipod height, and you've also got the right angle so that when we shoot the gun and we get recoil, it's going to want to go to that exact point of impact.
See, the entire system, the gun in my body, is as much at rest as it can be.
Correct.
Okay. Ken, I grew up behind a bow, and I fully understand how much grip torque can negatively affect accuracy, especially at these longer ranges, right? So what am I looking for here?
What we're looking for is a nice straight trigger pull, straight back into the center of the chassis. So we don't want to torque to either side. There's a couple ways we can do that. The most common way for a lot of the precision shooters is to shoot with what we call an open grip. So you'll take your thumb and you'll just rest it like you normally would. You'll take your finger and you're going to use the pad right here in the center of your pad. So if you go ahead and put your pad on the trigger, keep this open and rest it, and you pull straight back, you're going to get a nice straight trigger pull.
And surprisingly, that feels really natural, actually. Ken, you know, when I first laid down behind the rifle, I laid down in what felt really, really comfortable, but now after we've walked through those very minor steps, this feels really good, and I think I'm ready to go.
Well, Luke, if you're ready to go, we've got Jeremy ready on the spotting scope.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. Impact! That looked pretty center.
The sound is beautiful.
Good shot. Want to do it again?
I want to do it again.
Right on, same hold. Impact! Nice.
Yeah, baby. I get asked all the time, why go custom, right? Why spend that extra money? Well, the long story is there is no short answer. The work that these guys put into guns to make them go from pretty awesome to spectacular is nothing short of magical.
And this is where the magic begins. Okay, Luke, the heartbeat of any precision rifle are the components. And what we're talking about is stack tolerances. So any one of these components, the weakest link is going to be the weakest point of which that will fail. We start with our receiver, a precision machined receiver. Along with that receiver, we got a precision one-piece bolt. That is precision machined and lapped to match the specific receiver.
Yep.
Okay, a good stock and a high quality barrel.
So this is probably a horrible analogy, right? But if I were to explain to somebody, you know, what you do here, it's like, okay, you're like a chef, right? You start with premium components, premium ingredients, but at the end of the day, it's all the magic that you personally work in to get that dish. And right, what that does is that allows me to pick up a rifle like that, fire 2 shots, and I'm already banging steel at 550.
That is absolutely correct. Impact!
Modern Shooter is brought to you by Aguila Ammunition. Feed your firearm. By H&H Precision Rifles. Engineering precision rifles and components for the world's most demanding shooters. Sig Sauer Electro-Optics. See the difference. By SecureIt. Intelligent firearm storage. And by Turnbull Restoration, specializing in the accurate restoration of historical metal finishes on period firearms. And by Benchmark Barrels, world-class accuracy made in the USA.
Okay, Luke, you've pretty much made mincemeat of that 550-yard target, so we're going to walk you out to 750. You see the pine trees out in front of us here?
I do.
Come up to that first knoll, we've got that dirt mound, and the target's sitting in the middle of that dirt mound. You got it?
I got it. So we're going from 550 to 750-ish?
750, yes, sir.
All right. So anything different from the last target at 550 out to this one to about 750? I, of course, need my dope, but beyond that, as long as I keep everything the same,
I think
stay on target.
If you keep everything the same, remember your body position and building your position first. That's most important. I'm looking at the wind out there. We got a little boil to the left, so we're going to go ahead and hold left edge of target.
Okay.
And we're going to come up 7.2 mils.
Up 7.2.
All right, Luke, your trace was high and right.
Okay. Shader ready.
Water's on. Impact!
Yeah, baby.
Nice shot. Nice shot. That was centered up. Very good.
One more? All right, sir, I grabbed this diagram that you asked me to grab.
Well,
Explain it to me.
okay. What a lot of people may not understand about bores and rifle barrels is that most of the time we find that a bore is actually on an arc inside the barrel.
So this is a cross-sectional view of a barrel. So you got the barrel
Yes,
here, and this is your representation of the bore.
That is correct, right?
Exaggerated, of course.
Absolutely, much exaggerated.
Right.
So anyway, so what we need to do is we need to find the center of that bore and the curvature of that bore so that when we actually machine our chamber, it's true and in alignment, so everything's entering straight into the bore. So to do that, we'll take these dual bushing range rods here and we'll put them in. So this is a range rod that will go into the bore. These bushings that are custom fit within 1/10,000th, different size bushings. We have to actually find the bushings. We set it in there like that. That gives us the actual alignment of the bore.
So you're not trying to fix this problem, you're just building around it to maximize accuracy.
That's correct.
So
yes.
again, if you haven't figured out, I like analogies, right? A lot of manufacturers, what they'll do is if they don't get that bullet entering that bore, whatever that angle is, it's almost like a bowler throwing a bowling ball down and hitting the bumpers like 4 feet off the line, right? I mean, your bullet's going to contact the wall of that bore immediately if you don't true all that, which of course is going to deform the bullet slightly or cause all kinds of inconsistent pressures.
Yes, yes, and that's when you get inaccuracy. So the straighter we can go in, the more inherent the accuracy is going to be.
I got a feeling finding it is not easy, so let's see how you do it.
Right on. All right, now we have our bore alignment rod in the bore itself, and we've attained our true bore dimensional data that we're looking for angularity. So as we turn this, we're not getting any deviation on our dial indicator or our travel indicator. We can go back and forth. So right now we're getting close. We're down to 1 to maybe 2/10,000ths. We have to work on it a little bit more, but we're dialing it in. As you can see, our indicator's sitting on 0 or close to it. We come out on the end to make sure we're running parallel. We can spin it again. We can see that needle's not moving. So now I know we're very close to being in alignment with the bore. I'm going to show you something by turning the machine on that proves my point. When we come out here on the outboard spindle side, we can actually physically see, by looking at this, we can see the barrel wobble itself. That's because we're true on that end, but now this end's out of bore alignment, basically, so it's going to wobble out here on the end. So it's literally going to look like it's not true or straight out on this end because it isn't, because that bore is actually crooked. And that's why we go through the extra steps to build the rifle center of bore out. The most important thing is making sure you have a true precision custom fit so that everything is in perfect alignment. The threads are now cut in such a way that the precision cut to be in perfect alignment with the bore to once again guarantee that bullet enters the land straight and travels down the bore true. Look, there's a lot of different ways to chamber in a rifle, but as long as it's being done correctly, you'll get the results you're looking for.
Up next, what does it take to hit a target at 1,000 yards? You're watching Modern Shooter.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Modern Shooter. And so far I've hit at 550, I've hit at 750. Can a guy could get some confidence around here pretty quick shooting your rifles?
Well, Luke, I sense a little bit of overconfidence maybe, so we're gonna up the ante a little bit for you here, okay? We're gonna go out to 1,100 yards. We're gonna be running the Aguila ammunition out there, so we're gonna be on the outer limits of our 16-inch barrel. We're gonna be right on the edge of going subsonic, and at that distance you feel this little breeze, and you see the breeze in the grass here. We're shooting across this canyon out here, which we know there's some wind out there. You're gonna have a lot of wind drift out there on this shot, so we're gonna start challenge your shooting capabilities.
So you are certain that your gun can handle it. Now you're just seeing if I can handle it, aren't you?
That's what I'm saying.
All right, let's go.
If you look just past that wood pile, there's a road out there going up the side of the mountain out there. It's an old logging road that's no longer being used. Okay, in the middle of that logging road there on that curve there next to the tree line is where your target is. Can you see that?
I can.
Okay, well that's your target. That's 1,100 yards. Yeah, we do definitely have a lot more wind out there. Spotter, what's your wind call?
Give me 3 mils left wind, Lucas.
3 mils up.
2/10 right. And 1 full mil down. Oh, right under it. All right, Luke, hey, give me that 3/10 right hold again, okay? Impact!
Yes!
Very
Good wind
good,
call, man. Really good wind call. Oh, the best part about this is it's really a team effort. I mean,
It is, yes.
I got the easy job here, clearly.
Pretty cool to see it all come together though, eh?
Oh, it is. That's fantastic.
This has been a great day. You know, Luke came out, he's learned a lot. Never shot these distances before. Now he's like a kid in a candy store. He's seeing his hits, he's making his corrections, he's making his own wind calls. I mean, it's all coming together for him, and I just enjoy having a great time enjoying watching him shoot. I'm just hoping we brought enough ammo to keep him busy for the rest of the day because he's burning through it now.
Nice, nice, nice. Very good.
Boom! You know, this afternoon, some trigger work behind those H&H rifles has really proved to me why it's worth it to go custom, right? Why should I spend the money on a gun like this when I certainly don't have to? Well, obviously you're getting accuracy at extreme distances, okay? You're getting precision, as the name implies, and you're getting reliability. All that equals a gun that's gonna last me the rest of my life.
So Luke, come on in here. I want to show you something. We just finished up the thread. We have it on there now. It'll turn. It'll go on nice and smooth. But I want you to feel how solid that is, how there's no movement. I mean, it is rock solid. You can go ahead and grab it and try and wiggle that around. You can't, but you can turn it, and you can actually feel the mating between the threads, correct?
What blows my mind, I mean, this shows your precision, right? This receiver is only halfway threaded on. I can see half the threads, halfway threaded onto that barrel, and there is no play in that thread right there. There's nothing. And that's impressive work, Ken.
And that's what we're looking for. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're hooking up what I call the flushing system. And what this does is it forces the chips as we're pushing the reamer down into the bore to cut the chamber. It pushes it out the backside because we don't want to be pushing chips down our bore or scratching our bore. You know, we went through a lot of trouble to lap this bore and make it perfect, and what we don't want to do is be sending chips down it, so this will actually prevent that from happening. Okay, that finishes the chamber, and so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull this out. We're going to flip the barrel over so we can do the muzzle end, where we'll install the muzzle brake and crown the muzzle.
So you're going to do the exact same process, building off of center bore from the muzzle end.
That is correct, yeah.
That's precision.
That's precision. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the receiver onto the barrel, or the barrel onto the receiver, whichever way you want to call it. Now, if you notice, we're going to have full contact all the way around. When that touches, it just sticks. I mean, you could actually feel that if you want to feel it. I mean, when you have full contact, it doesn't take a lot of surface area to make it stick. So that allows us to tighten it up very lightly. So we're not going to put a lot of pressure on this. We're just going to go ahead and put it on there. We're just going to give it a little snug, and that's it. We're done. No stress.
And you've already got the receiver timed to the barrel, right? So we're working with that curve of the bore in the barrel, not against it.
That's correct, yeah. As you remember, when we were on the machine, we found the top of that bore, we marked it, and we went ahead and bumped that shoulder till we were top dead center of bore.
Got it. Ken, I know you're working a lot of secrets into this entire system, but if there was one like linchpin, right, it's got to be right here where the barrel meets the receiver, because I'm watching you torque that on, and you're not putting hardly any elbow grease into it at all.
No, not at all. We don't want to put any torque into the barrel or the receiver, and by over tightening it, that's what you do. You actually put stress in the barrel. So as that barrel heats up, if you ever notice a gun will walk out, that's why. It's that torque and that stress that's causing that to do that.
So this is it. I mean, all the magic is pumped into this barreled action right here. Ken is promising 1/4 inch MOA inside of this right here. Now, as I learned at the range, gun fit has as much to do with how each gun fits you personally as it does your personality, right? And that's the cool thing about H&H in general. No matter what you're into, Ken has an opportunity for you to select your gun and build it out from there. I mean, we're talking bigger, long-range battlefield-style guns. He's got some hunting models, multiple hunting options, short-barreled LE-type firearms, big, heavy chassis guns for long-range precision. No matter what you're into, what your passion is, he's got a gun and he's willing to build it for you. What you do with a 1/4 MOA barreled action like this, after Ken builds it for you, it's totally up to you. Ask a bunch of high-end precision rifle shooters what the most important component of their rifle is, and I'm talking the cream of the crop, those high-end precision rifles, and you are going to get answers across the board. Some guys are going to say the trigger, some guys are surely going to say the action, some guys might even say the optics. But above all that, I would argue that the most important component is a barrel, but like everything else, not just any barrel will do. Ron, we've got a lot of work to do with this bar stock to make this a benchmark quality, don't we?
Luke, devil's in the details.
Well, let's have a look at some of those details. So what's this machine right here?
This is our stress relief kiln.
Okay.
So after we get the mill run in from the mills in back east, they do actually 2 stress reliefs before we get the steel, but we found that by doing extra stress relief before we started any machining, we had much better results in straightness and trueness of the barrel. And also, you just don't have barrels that walk after firing.
Is this something that everybody does, every barrel manufacturer?
Not everybody does it, no.
So you're saying that even though they come stress treated twice from your supplier,
exactly,
it doesn't cut it here. You take it one step further with this process right here.
We actually, we have multiple stress reliefs in our process.
So we've got the first stress relief piece done, right?
Right.
What do we do next?
Now we are drilling the barrel blank.
Okay.
Yep.
So the blank goes in here. It's already cut to length. That was the first step.
Correct.
Stress relief.
Yep.
And now we're drilling out the blank.
Exactly.
How long does a process like this take? How many different passes?
A 30-inch barrel will take about 24 minutes to drill.
24 minutes.
Right.
I think I know the answer, but is it safe to assume that you're not boring this out to final dimension right here, are you?
Correct, we are not. The next step will be the reamer, the finished reaming.
Okay.
Now we're doing the finished ream. So now we're starting the reamer. It's a 6 fluted reamer. So what we're doing is we're bringing that 6th thou up till we hit our bore size. Now the reamer will ream it pretty darn smooth, and it will be a pretty nice finish. So this is the process. It's also pumping oil through the tube as it goes in. Okay, the next step, Luke, is our sun and hone.
This step is where it gets really cool.
This machine was actually designed specifically by Sunnin for producing very high quality rifle barrels. How this accomplishes that is by taking a already almost perfect hole by reaming and makes it actually perfect by taking all the reamer marks out and making it absolutely concentric from one end to the other. The reamer sometimes will dish a little bit, leave a little high and low spots. This will actually take all that out.
I guess I probably don't need to know the cost, but I guess I do know that it's for reasons like this. This process right here is why manufacturers pick your barrels, right, to put on top of their guns when they promise their customers 1/4 inch MOA, right?
Absolutely, it's one of the reasons, absolutely.
I mean, and that is the true definition of precision. When you add a process just like this to take your product from being pretty damn good to absolutely the best. So far, this is exactly what we've done. This is our semi-finished product.
Correct. So we've cut it,
Yep.
we've stress relieved it, we drilled it, we reamed it, and we've honed it. The next step will be lubricating it and rifling it.
I knew you were gonna say that. Let's go rifle it.
So anyway, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna rifle the barrel, and we rifle the barrel with the pull button method.
Okay.
In this method, we're not doing any cutting, we're displacing metal. Basically, you have a hole going through your piece of steel that is smaller than this button. This button is actually bigger than a hole in the steel. So with our proprietary lubricants, we can pull this button through under extreme pressure. This part of the button here creates the land, that thin part, that groove that's ground into the button, and the wider part here is what creates the groove.
So you don't do anything around here just because. Why did you go with pull button procedure?
Pull button is one of the most accurate ways to create barrels. There's hundreds of world records set with pull buttons. There's other methods that are also very good. Pull button and probably single point cut make the best barrels in the world.
Gives you the results you want.
Exactly. All right, Luke, after rifling, we're gonna heat treat one more time. Then we're gonna do something really cool. This is our 300 below cryo processor.
Okay.
This is developed specifically for rifle barrels. For us, it aids in turning the barrel straight, and actually some guys say the barrels last longer. And here, Luke, we have the finish lapping. The finish lapping is probably the most important part of actually barrel making as far as button rifles go.
Okay.
I always kid around that these are actually the barrel makers right here. This takes usually, when we hire a new guy, it usually takes about 3 months before they acquire the skills to lap a barrel properly.
Ron, so this is it, right? This is what I've been waiting for, the finished Benchmark product.
It is. Well, we do a final inspection for basically for the inside. We check the bore and groove for dimension-wise, and then we also polish the outside, and then she's ready to ship.
And that's the reason, as you guys saw, that they can tout world-class accuracy, right? These guys here at Benchmark, they go above and beyond. They make life harder than it has to be to make sure that whoever buys their barrels, gets behind that trigger and shoots that gun, their accuracy is at the top of the class because they are shooting nothing but the best.